The epic return of Konomiko Hara, my beloved. Yes, Rui is finally here, and my gosh, answering so many question marks, but creating a million more. At the same time, yes, Rem. Rem has finally come back. All she has to do is come back and say, "You're my hero, Subaru," and Subaru just fixes. Like, the past Subaru, this current Subaru, no matter what, as long as Rem says, "You're my hero," bam, he remembers everything. It's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to buck up. It's time to do this. Well, he didn't remember everything, but he remembers the promise. He remembers the promise. That's the thing that he has to do. Like, that's the interesting thing, really, is in the end there, when she's saying, "Stand up, do this," he's feeling something. It's like, of all the other characters, he hasn't really remembered anything about them. Remy does. Or at least he feels something, Rem. He feels something. He's encouraged. There's something that's brewing up inside of him. He's feeling like hot in the chest, whatever. He knows Rem is special. He has to do something. Rem best girl. In the end, Rem best girl. But yes, episode 79 of ReZero. What a meaty episode. What a packed episode from like beginning to end. Just all these reveals and a million more question marks being created, but just completely packed. 29 long minutes and no OP and ED. Juicy as hell. So let's just get right into it. I got a whole bunch to cover with this video, and hopefully it doesn't end up too long. But yes, let's just kick things off from the very beginning, opening up the episode with them talking about going to find the information about Raid. And I love this little moment where like this Subaru is just learning about how the fact that everybody being like really long lived, they're trying to figure out if Raid's even alive or if he's dead. And they're like going into talk about how like, yeah, technically his appearance doesn't really tell you how old he is. And so Beatrice is like, yeah, I'm 400 years old. Amelia's like, I'm technically like 100 years old. And Kadona's over here like, I'm 400 years old too. Shala's like, I've been waiting here for What's with the 400 years? I think I questioned that before. When they were talking about the tower itself. I was like, it seems like a lot of things are like about that period of time. Like everything seems to be like about this. It's almost like everything is sort of unfolding from that period of time. Like a lot of things happened 400 years ago. And it might be around, who all was involved at the time. So I don't know, maybe at some point we'll get like a flashback to like 400 years ago where again, it seems like everything's sort of unfolded, but that aside, like super come to the realization, everybody's old. Even you, Amelia. Why is everybody old? But yeah, that's when we kind of come to realization. It's not necessarily that Raid is like somebody that is 400 years old right now, like he's still alive, that he's just somebody that is sort of kind of trapped in that location. Because his personality doesn't seem to give off somebody that would just sit around and wait. So he's, like the conclusion comes to is, he's a very lively dead person. He's a very lively dead person. So anyways, that leads them to go to get the book. During the way, we get this little conversation between Subaru and Julius, which I really do like. It's a very simple response to the situation, but it's a very pointed one. The idea that he notices that Julius is very hesitant about his fight with Raid, but Subaru is trying to instill upon Julius that he has to be the one that's got to fight him, so I need you to have the courage for it. He doesn't know why Julius is upset. He just knows that Julius, in his mind, has experienced a loss against Raid, and he doesn't feel the confidence that he needs in order to do that. So I like that little moment where Subaru was like, well, I don't remember those memories, so I'm not going to say that you ever lost. I've never experienced you losing, so thus you've never lost in my mind. But again, I like that like simplicity of the idea of this is this and that's that. Or the idea that let's separate it, basically. Let's separate it. You seem to have problems with me, but that's a past me that's not me, so I can't really say anything to that. Let's just kind of put it aside. But I like how he points out that you're not lacking courage. He knows the guy's strong, and again, he's experienced it. He experienced where Julius literally stood down there in front of all those beasts and fought, determined to protect everybody. He needs determination not to lose. That's basically what he needs. I like it. It was a good little conversation here. Again, kind of one of those Subaru and Julius bro moments. But yes, when we go to the library, and honestly, looking back now, this seems kind of suspicious. This seems a bit suspicious. They go up to the library and immediately they have the book. Oh yeah, we found the book, by the way, Subaru. And it's like, wait. And even he points it out, the idea of, well, it's nice that we found it, but then we haven't, figured out the actual library. He was hoping that they would figure out a system or whatever that's in the library so that they can find Elsa's book. He wants to find that because he knows Melee wants to see it, and as he puts it, I want to help you grow up, healthy. And it seems like that's something that you need in order to do that. I want to facilitate that. I want to give you this book of this motherly figure, this big sister figure that you need to see. Because you're trying to mold yourself around her and you need to know more about that. I'm going to help you out with that. So right here, he's a little bummed out the fact that they didn't figure out the actual archive and how it works. But at the same time, looking back now, back then I was thinking it's extremely convenient that they found this book. Amongst, again, was expecting billions of books in there. Oh, we found it. Melee found it. It's right here. This is it. Now, yes, technically based off of what we know, yes, Subaru's already found this book. But even then, how did Subaru find the book before? How did it conveniently be found? Because again, this book amongst many other ones, it gives me a sense there that this was put here. This was put here for a reason. Now, as we find out, when he does go to open it up, it doesn't take him to Reed's memories. Now, it could be in proximity or in, I don't know, proxy. It is Reed's memories. It's just his memories are in that area, or at least he has memories of that location. But I don't necessarily think it's going to be Reed's memories. I think there's probably a chance that maybe the book cover itself has been altered and it's actually potentially Rui's memories. Maybe that book itself is actually Rui's memories, but then that would imply that she's dead, but she's not technically dead. I don't know. It just seems odd that, again, this was conveniently found. And not only that, but this is essentially a doorway to this cradle that doesn't seem to be somebody's memories. That's not Raid's memories. It can't be technically Rui's memories. It's another location. It's a location. It is a mass of memories. And I would assume that potentially the cradle, this archive is sort of a doorway to the cradle too. That access to all these memories that are within the cradle is being done through this location. It's just, again, how do you break off from each one of these individual paths that the books take you to just get to the cradle itself? That's the question mark. But anyways, that aside, yeah, Melee just happens to find the book. And again, technically Subaru found it before, so she might have just found it where he left it. But yes, gives her head pats. Gives her the head pats. Before, yes, he has a little sit down with everybody before he opens the book. He decides that he's going to be the one that opens it up. And there's a concern here that the books themselves cause memory loss. And he's like, no, I don't think there's any evidence that's the case, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this thing, which is a little bit, a little apprehension there about that. He goes to everybody and assigns roles. This was dorky. He's like, at first it makes sense. It's like, Julius, he's our fighter. We have Ekidona. She's our brains, because she's a very smart girl. Oh, Ram, she's a verbal abuser. Melee, she's a cute one. Beatrice is a cute one too. Shala is a gravure model. Amelia is the beautiful heroine. Like, it just evolves. Like, it was like, okay, let's assign roles. We have all these different party members and what they do best. But then it just quickly just goes, you're cute. You're cute too. And yeah, you're grab your model. She's like, I want to fulfill that role. Takes off the clothes. It was dorky. It was a dorky little moment. But yeah, after assigning everybody's roles, Subaru ends up opening the book before, again, this can't be Raid's memories. He goes to the cradle, the Ode Ragna, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But he ends up in this one location, as described by Rui later on. This is a location, is where all the souls go to. When everybody dies, they come to here, and just like a rag that gets wrung out and reused, it's a location where the souls have everything stripped of them. They become pure, basically purified, in order to make them usable again. So they are implying here, at least with this world, it has a sort of rebirth system, where whenever you die, you're going to be going back into the system to be created again as something else. And typically with a rebirth system, like a Buddhist system, your memories and everything is wiped out and your soul lives another life. And there's like that whole idea of, remembering some things or some whatnot. But yeah, that's essentially what this place is. All the souls come here in order to be wrung out of all the memories and all that kind of stuff, which is obviously upsetting to Subaru because, as Rui puts it even herself, memories are what make you. If you don't have those memories, you lose yourself. And you are just somebody else, which does get into some really good discussion later on. But yeah, he meets Rui here immediately. Konami Kohara's voice just melts me. I absolutely adore her. She's an absolutely fantastic seiyuu, so I was really happy to see Rui again. Again, technically this has been spoiled for us, unfortunately. For the longest time in the first part, I was speculating that what was going on with Subaru was obviously going to be gluttony. He's lost his memories. Gluttony is all about removing memories. That was going to be the case there. It was, the question mark was, where are they at? Where in this tower is Rui and Lai and Roy, if they're all there? And again, we at some point seem to have had, in Subaru coming out towards Melee, was seemingly, I think it was Lai. One of the two of them had that kind of personality that was seemingly coming out of Subaru. But yeah, we have the confirmation here. Rui's here. Now here's the odd thing, because again, I was really speculating, where are each one of these individual members of Gluttony? As we see at the end of the episode, it seems like, of course, we already had one of them show up to Ram and Amelia. I would assume the other brother's there. And now we have Rui here. Where have they all been sort of hiding is the question mark that I have. I was kind of thinking that Rem there was just a shapeshift version of Rui, but it doesn't seem like that was the case. We see them kind of running out there with Rem, so Rem's body is actually physically there, seemingly, unless they just shapeshift on the mount right there and just reveal themselves. Again, there'll be a question mark as to how they got there. They could have just traveled there from behind Subaru and them. That could be the case there as well. But yeah, during this conversation, we very quickly find out why Rui is actually there. Why is there an obsession with Subaru? Now, the assumption that I had for the longest time was that, Rui/Gluttony, them in general, they were after Subaru because they wanted to break him. At some point, probably, looking into his memories or whatever, they discovered that Subaru has the ability to reset and return by death. They've discovered that. Even she says it herself. She knows that he's able to do that. I would assume that they found out that he had returned by death, and thus they decide they have to destroy his mind. They can't kill him because it just keeps resetting, so they have to instead just destroy him so that he can't do anything. He's just useless. He's just this in a vegetative state, basically. So I thought this whole process of them wiping his memories and really torturing him right now was to break him. But, in fact, it was actually because Rui really badly wanted to eat his memories again. That's an interesting thing. The idea that, yes, technically, with how gluttony themselves work, they can only consume somebody's memories once. And so they found out that it seems like Subaru, because of the way that he is, they can actually consume his memories twice. In order to do that, they had to essentially consume him and then create a new personality from within him before consuming it again. I would assume that would be possible with anybody. Like, I would think they would be able to do that with, say, right now, Krush. Krush has had her memories wiped, and she's a new personality. Maybe potentially they could consume her again. But it might be more of a factor that because he has his memories of his previous life, he's able to produce a personality more, ? I don't know. Either way, it seems to imply the fact that with Subaru himself specifically, they want to consume it twice. And that could be around the idea that the memories of his death is what makes it more, enticing. Oh, I want to taste that again. That part about death was the more interesting thing, because I could see this being from somebody that is able to consume memories. That they would sort of see a more unique flavor in Subaru himself. Like, they've probably consumed thousands of memories of people. Going around just chomping everybody's memories, consuming them, tasting them, and all that kind of stuff, and they all have their own flavors. But nobody that we've consumed of these thousands of people has ever had an experience of death. Subaru is a unique case where he has. So this is a unique experience that only Subaru can provide for them. He's the only one that could produce this very unique dish that they want to eat. So they want him specifically. But it implies the fact that they haven't tasted it yet. That they want to taste it. He's like, well, you got my yesterday's memories. Wouldn't you have tasted it there? No, those are old. They're not real. That was a weird one. I guess because there's such a gap from the point that they died, it's not fresh in his memories, ? I don't know. That part doesn't make sense. I guess technically from that point, it had been a while. It was recent. He had recently had a death before she consumed him and he lost all of his memories. I don't know. That seemed like a very odd statement. I'm wondering if that maybe is a lost in translation, a lost in adaptation. I'm not exactly sure what she's talking about there, besides the fact that, again, maybe she wants something that's more fresh, as in like within 24 hours, something like that. I don't know. It seemed like it was within that time frame. She asked, is it agonizing, terrible? Some say it feels good. Who the hell said it feels good? Who experienced death and was like, oh, I felt good? But yeah, she says, they're old. They're not real. We want fresher sensation. Again, it could just be an aspect of like she wants something that's more recent. Something that's happened here recently, not within a couple days or whatever. But again, it feels like that last one was pretty recent. But yeah, it also implies her and the other brothers, which they've talked about this before, that they're seeking a better future. That they've come from somewhere horrible. It's unfair, this world itself, because, you can't choose where you're born. You can be born into some horrible life itself, and your future itself isn't really under your control. There's all these, different aspects of life that prevents you from having happiness. So they're seeking to find that place. They're looking for that place that is wonderful. And until that day, they're going to keep consuming. But yeah, a lot of reveals around her, really getting into the idea that she has this obsession with Subaru. Seems to believe that, because consuming things is so close to the sensation of lust, and lust is love, that she's obviously in love with Subaru. So she badly wants to consume him, wants to break him, wants to separate the Subarus until ultimately, again, he finds Rem. Rem kind of brings them back together, kind of keeps them straight. At that point, she gets frustrated. I screwed up. I guess I have to leave it to my brothers. It is interesting that she kind of keeps talking about how her brothers provide things for her. At the same time, she has to leave it to the brothers. And she's frustrated because she had this goal of getting Subaru, and she's failing on it. And now he's going to go off, and now the brothers got to handle it again. Like, even early on, when he first meets her, he asks, like, why do you keep saying we? And she's pointing out the fact that, well, I've consumed so many different personalities and whatnot, I've kind of just lost myself. I don't really know which one is actually me anymore, so we just say we. But I can't not accept it, right? Because the brothers, my dearest brothers, brought me this, and so I have to take it, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't be a good sister. That was kind of another interesting thing, that she's, again, seemingly getting so much from them, and at the same time having to sort of rely on them a lot. And yeah, I would assume that she would be accepting a lot of, personalities and memories from them, because yes, this episode did imply that she had Rem's memories within her. And the reason that Rem was there is because she discarded it. That yes, while, we see this little flashback of her attacking the last Subaru, which was interesting, by the way, it seemed to imply in the past Subaru situation, he called out to her. It cuts over to the memory of her attacking the last Subaru, and he says, "Stop it, Rui." That could be an aspect of her introducing herself to him, and he probably chatted for her a little bit, and then she went to attack him, and he's just saying, "Stop, don't do that. Let's have a conversation rather than just go to violence." Rather than just go to violence. But yeah, while she's going to attack the previous Subaru, at some point something stops her. And she says, "Is this dearness?" When something feels dear. And then she goes to reach into her throat, and she pulls out a blue gem or marble, and she chucks it. And I would assume that was probably Rem. I mean, it's blue, and Rem's got the blue hair. And she chucked it. There's something that was keeping me from attacking him. Let me get rid of it. And there's a memory within me that's fighting me from attacking Subaru. I gotta get rid of this thing. So Rem was actually inside of Rui as she was trying to consume Subaru, and it stopped her briefly. She had to get rid of it before she finally actually attacked and took his memories. And I'm assuming later on, as we see, when she's actually getting Subaru to separate himself and to destroy his old Subaru self, it seems like Rem somehow manifested within that cradle, walked over there and told Subaru, "Wake up, stand up, get up." Now the question mark is, can he go back there and get Rem? This makes me believe that Rem's no longer in Rui and the other gluttonies. Roy and Lai. This makes me believe that Rem's in the cradle. So can Subaru go get that marble and bring it back here and, I don't know, feed it to Rem? Like, does that imply that it's gone? I don't know. Again, it kind of surprised Rui that somebody was there. Like, at some point, Subaru thinks that his past self is coming to get him. Like, he's mad at him, and he's saying, "I don't want to disappear," but it ends up being Rem. Oh, it wasn't him. Yeah, and Ruby's like, "There's nobody else here. What are you talking about, Subaru?" Nope. Rem was, because you discarded her, but that was crazy. That was all crazy. What else? There's so much to talk about in this episode. Crazy episode. Again, a long episode with lots in here, but did I miss anything? Holy crap. But no, yeah, the separation was kind of interesting. The idea that she's trying to separate the two of them. At some point, she jumps on him, talks about how she wants to consume and everything like that. He pushes her off and goes to strangle her, and she's like, "Yeah, do it. Go ahead, do it. Yeah, do it. Again, she's trying to break him, trying so desperately to break him. And the whole idea here is that you don't want Subaru back. You're attacking me and that'll get you Subaru back, but you don't want that, do you? Because if you do, you'll lose who you are. When you get Subaru's memories back, you as Subaru is going to disappear. You're going to be overwritten. You're going to become the old self again, and your current self is going to erase. I do like that very kind of almost very unsettling thought process there. The idea that, if you lose your memories, are you yourself? And if you get those memories back, do you remain who you were? So Subaru right here is literally feeling like, oh, I'm going to get erased. I'm going to be overwritten. Those memories come back, and it just like, again, like sort of like data just gets written over everything that was currently me, and I lose myself. I don't want that. There's a fear there of losing existence. And so he's panicking, going, crap, no, I want to hang out with these people more. I don't want to, be erased. I want to be here. And he's having that moment of that separation. It's exactly what Ruri wants. Yes, I got him. Yeah, you got to get rid of that old self. You got to delete that old self. You got to kill that old self. Yeah, I want this new self because I want to consume him. It's super interesting. But yeah, the thing that ultimately in the end sort of breaks it is, again, because she discarded the REM memory, the REM memories comes back and tells Subaru, get up. I love that. It was so good. Seeing Rem again. Oh, my girl. It's a tease, too. It's like, come on, bring her back already. I hope by the end of this arc they bring Rem back. But yeah, Rem coming back as best girl to fix the situation. And again, it's just like with episode 18. All she has to do, seeing Subaru so broken, is to step forward and say, you're my hero. That's all she got to say. You're my hero. Get up. Stand up. You're my hero. Get up. Hurry. Come on. You got to do this. You got to do this. Get up. But no, the other thing that she kind of poses here is like, why are you making a decision? Why are you choosing here? Why decide one or the other? It's kind of one of those why not both jokes right here. It's like literally like, why are you struggling? And I think that really is true to Rem. Rem would probably make that response. You're stuck between two different paths. Do I kill the old Subaru and keep myself, or do I, accept Subaru back and I get erased? Why are you choosing between the two of them? The Subaru that I know, the hero, would make it happen. He would make it to where everybody was happy. That's what my hero would do. I think that's sort of what she's saying there in saying, why are you deciding? But yeah, she's like, stand up. Get up, boy. But it's painful. Get up. You're my hero. I was like, yes, run back. I miss her. I miss her so much. To see her so like demanding too was so great, because that's sort of what hits him. He's like, I know this feeling. I know this sensation, this burning sensation, whatever. Again, I feel like he, unlike everybody else, it feels like there's like a special connection with Rem, that he feels something differently with her. And so he feels this burning sensation in him, this what, probably in his heart. It's a love aspect. It's in his heart he's feeling. And so he so badly wants to fulfill whatever. That he remembers something. He finally remembers that promise that he has. But it was super good. You got to stand up and save them all because you're my hero. So sweet. So sweet. Anyways, yeah, that's when he pushes back on Rui. Says, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And pretty much gets allowed to leave. That's the more surprising thing, that Rui was allowing him to leave. And again, I think it's more of a fact that she failed. Like, I'm not going to be able to get him. I'm not going to be able to break him. I might as well just let him go. Let my brothers handle it. It doesn't seem like I can handle it. She's probably more just expecting that he's going to leave and die, and then I can try again. And just let my brothers kill him, and I'll try again. But yeah, that's pretty much everything in that room. That was a lot. That's a lot of stuff in there. Outside of him, we see that at some point, Shala detects that something's coming. Her and Julius go out, and she freaking summons like this massive snipes and just snipes all the things down below. It was freaking crazy, dude. Shala's massively OP. We've seen that before when she was killing Subaru with it, but to see her like using that, like all this stuff, is crazy. Yeah, and then Julius going down and having to hold the line down below. Ram and Amelia going off to get Rem before they run into, I think it was Roy. I don't know. It's hard to remember which one's which between the two of them, but one of the two brothers. A lot of crazy stuff in this episode. Like I said, holy crap, just packed. Did I miss anything? Let me go through my notes again. I do find it very fascinating, though, with Rui being able to sort of feel Subaru's feelings. When she tries to kind of manipulate him, talking about his relationship with his parents, that this is something that only I can say that I understand. I know you more than anybody else, because she literally consumed his memories. She knows everything about him. So that was kind of interesting. Again, kind of playing into that. And I think that kind of plays into her ability to kind of separate the two of them, too, because she can sort of play into that idea of loving yourself. Again, that was a big issue that we have with Subaru, with his memories of his family and whatnot. How he feels guilty and whatnot, is that idea that he would sort of find himself disgusting. He would sort of hate himself. And so she's able to play into that, going, oh, well, yeah, love yourself more. Accept yourself more. Kick out this other Subaru guy. You have a dislike for yourself. Don't do that. Embrace yourself. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the episode. Again, great episode 79. Really good stuff. I think they did a really good job with Rui, too. She's very twisted. Very twisted, but also has like kind of that, fragileness to her that they're kind of playing off of, like, oh, would you harm a cute little girl like me? That kind of stuff. It kind of plays in that whole innocence aspect, but at the same time, very twisted. The Jaws teeth and everything like that. Just the warped nature of her. I think Kotomi Kohara did a really good job of voicing this. I think this is the first time that I've seen her do like a very twisted role. I might be misremembering something, but she did a really good job. But that's my thoughts on the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. Until next time, you'll take care.